In this video, we'll show you how to set and use the database filters that determine the clubs that you compare your own club to. It's a very powerful aspect of club benchmarking, and it's unique in that obviously printed reports and other static pieces of information don't allow you to really determine which clubs you're going to compare yourself to. So we're going to use the Finance and Operations area as a model. The Compare Clubs tabs and the Reports tabs both have the same set of filtering capabilities. So we're just going to click right into the Compare Clubs page for the Uniform Income Statement. And if you'll notice at the top, there's a set of filters. We keep a standard set of filters up and running all the time, and the list does change a little bit based on the needs of our users. On the Compare Clubs page, you'll always see for each metric your own club's value compared to the set of clubs that you're currently looking at. And so you'll see the median value, the 25th percentile, the 75th percentile, and your own club's value, again, compared to that club's data set. Right now we're looking at my club against the entire database, so over 1,000 clubs that we're comparing to. More often than not, you don't want to compare the entire database, but you want to look at some subset. So you simply click Change, and I'm going to say I want to look at clubs with golf, and I'm going to set the revenue slider bars from $6 million to $8 million, and then I'll click Apply. So now the data that I'm comparing against for the entire database are only clubs with golf and revenue between $6 and $8 million. Then you'll see that the data has changed in that statistical icon. My data, of course, is the same, but the comparison information has changed. Now, you also have the ability to see this information graphically. So just by clicking on this little quick chart icon, you actually explode out the entire data set you're comparing to, and you can see what that curve looks like and exactly where you are on the curve. And then you can, just by clicking one of these icons, bring that file down as a PowerPoint or an Adobe PDF and use in meetings or email around or whatever you might want to do. So that's how you change the comparison set based on what we call attributes. The other way you can run a comparison is by using what we call peer clusters. A peer cluster is a specifically named set of clubs, and it may represent a group that you've been getting together with and benchmarking for quite some time. It's a very powerful thing to all be sitting in a room using the same set of data, looking at the same set of curves, yet each club in the room sees their own position on the curve, and that becomes a very interesting discussion point to have around the room of why your result is in one place and another club's result might be in another place. It's also important not to over-filter. There's a natural tendency to go through and set lots of filters and think you're going to drill down to clubs exactly like you. The reality is we've seen through the data that the business model of clubs is very consistent. So you're much better in having more data, more clubs in your comparison rather than fewer clubs. You might want to set one filter based on a particular study you're doing. Maybe it's food and beverage, maybe it's dues, but generally you don't want to set lots and lots of filters. We can also very quickly put up a new filter if you're doing a specific study. For instance, if you wanted to filter the clubs based on golf shop revenue, it takes us literally about 5 minutes to configure that filter in, and you can then log in, use that filter, do your analysis, and we'll probably then pull that filter down, or we might even leave it up for others to use for a little while. So that's how you use filters in club benchmarking. It's a very powerful aspect of the service, but you also want to be wise about how you use it. I hope you found this information useful. If you have any questions, you can contact us at support@clubbenchmarking.com.